Hi everyone, thank you for joining my presentation. So my name is Rihanna Patterson and I'll be delivering a talk on dementia in the media. So who am I? I am the founder of Dominica Dementia Foundation, which is a youth-led dementia charity based in the Caribbean. And I founded this in memory of my grandfather who passed away of dementia when I was about 16. I'm also a TEDx speaker and a personal development coach. I also act as a trustee for Age UK Hive and Varna Trust. And I'm also the film director of Dementia: The Island Journey, which is a documentary film that I'm working on to basically be a call to action in terms of dementia in the media. So the topic today is dementia in the media, sorry. So why should we care about representation of dementia in the media? I brought up these two examples, but there's loads of them online in magazines that you could also research, but these two really stuck out to me because this is a credible news company, BBC, and they're basically saying Alzheimer's sufferers 30 blown away by 18K donations. So in the title, you've got Alzheimer's and you also got sufferer. And when you put those two together, it can be quite stigmatized. And that can be unfortunate because when we consume media that's quite negative, it has an effect on our thoughts and our behaviors. And this article in particular, it was about someone who had early onset dementia and they got donations from the public. So it's a very positive story. However, when you bring a negative connotation to the article, it kind of, I don't know, it kind of brings you into a kind of negative space. And so you don't really take in the article in its full context, which is supposed to be a positive outcome. And there's also one from Hopkins Medicine that kind of spoke about caregivers suffer, caregivers suffer. And I also thought, yeah, you put two things together. First of all, caregiver, and we're trying to say more about caretaker and other things that will also come into in this session. But yeah, you're not supposed to put sufferer in the context because it just donates into a very negative perspective on dementia, which is something that we're trying to avoid. So how can we help to combat the stigma of dementia in the media? I think we can do quite a few things, to be honest. We can inform the news companies of these type of distressing and stigmatized language expressed in the media. We could also increase our knowledge as well as our community on um, dementia in the media and how it should be processed. We can speak positively about dementia to our communities. I think this is a very important one as well, because the way that we speak about it is the way that we interpret it, and it's the way that people will also consume it as well. And basically, we need to also share positive news in the media. There's a lot of media that we consume. So we need to ensure that we are consuming positive news as well. And sharing these kind of positive news in the media means that we need to also work closely with journalists, so bringing out that specific guidelines on how to share these type of media can be quite useful. I would also suggest speaking to your local Alzheimer's associations about any concerns you may have on different news articles that you've come across, because they could possibly provide a statement that would say this is not the right way of portraying dementia, and here are the guidelines that we advise you use as well. So communicating with about dementia, sorry, avoid using sufferers. So instead, you would say someone with dementia, someone who has dementia, someone passed away with dementia. Anything that you can say that would not include the word sufferer is very valuable. Replacing caregivers with caretakers is also something that you can do. Caregivers, it sounds like they're giving a lot of their time, which they are, but they're also taking care of someone else. So I think caretakers is a more positive way of speaking about someone who takes care of someone with dementia. Replacing the elderly with older people is also something that you can do quite easily. When people say the elderly, they think about old, they think about someone in a wheelchair, they think about this and that and that. So I think just having a whole round older people would bring a better perspective when it comes to aging. I would also never put a stigmatized word with dementia, like we saw in the examples, caregiver, sufferer, Alzheimer's sufferer. Please do not put those things together, because it would just add on to the stigma. And it's kind of like a cycle. So you've got the stigma of dementia, and then that results in people not wanting to get therapy, not wanting to talk about mental health, not wanting to talk about aging, not wanting to talk about dementia. So it keeps going on and on and on. So definitely avoid doing that. And then also using positive images of older people when writing articles is a very important one as well, because that also, the visual and the context of it can also add on to how we think and how we feel. So if we see a positive older person, very energized, happy, burst of emotion, we will want to feel happy and positive. So yeah, definitely using more positive images can be quite beneficial as well. Now, how am I contributing to reducing the stigma of dementia? Currently, I'm crowdfunding to produce a documentary film, and film is quite powerful. And the way that we use film has basically evolved over the years. And there's a lot of dementia documentaries out there. And I feel like there needs to be more that's quite positive. A lot of them that I've watched personally, I feel could have had more of positive language use, positive point of view, and things like that. So I am creating my own documentary to kind of bring about that positive social change through film and media. So it would act as a call to action to media houses and any filmmakers, videographers that are taking on this kind of said role in producing a film on dementia. I'm hoping that it would be a guideline to other filmmakers out there. I've also produced research on dementia through the Dominica Dementia Foundation. So this is an expert of it. It was just kind of finding out the perspectives of dementia in the Caribbean. And research is quite powerful. And the way that we interpret research in media has a great effect on our perspectives and feelings. So ensuring that I'm not using stigmatized language in research, and ensuring that my research is not being stigmatized in the media is very, very important. So these are two ways that I have contribute, or I am currently contributing to reducing the stigma of dementia in the media. So I want to leave you with one question, because I feel like we consume a lot of media and this itself is media. And I want you to be left curious. So what is one action you commit to reducing the stigma of dementia in the media? It doesn't have to be 1,000, and we've already discussed it in this session. So think about what is one action you have the capacity to do today to commit to reducing the stigma of dementia in the media. Have a think, speak about it with somebody else. But yeah, definitely do something about it, because it's happening as we speak, and it just only takes one person to commit to this to get everyone else to commit as well. So that's it. That's my presentation. I hope that you've gained more insights into dementia in the media, you understand the importance of dementia in the media, and you feel more energized to contribute to this area. Thank you very much. Take care.